Hatake is kind of the heart and soul of the series because he is this very mysterious character, and most of the show is figuring out what is he up to and what does he really want.
I know everything about the virus. I'm controlling everything. Actually, I created the virus.
He's one of these guys who's trying to do good. At his core, he truly believes he is doing good. But it's an ends versus the means kind of story.
Looks like I'm a bad guy, but I have my own goal.
We could have changed the world.
Yes. But who would want to live in that kind of world?
The isolation of the piece and the fact that they are in this remote place, sequestered away from the rest of the world, kept the danger and kept the jeopardy sort of within the confines of the base. You're investing in these particular characters and their situation, how they're going to handle it, not so much the broader global implications of the whole show.
The CDC seems to have had a breakthrough. I'm sorry for disappointing you.
Whatever Hatake needs to be carried out, I will follow him to off the edge of a cliff if he told me to do it. So he's kind of raised me in that way.
Unlike Hatake, who was brought there on his own volition, and he set up this entire thing, Daniel doesn't even really know why he's there until the end of the first season. He's really discovering who he is in a matter of 13 days.
As the relationship develops, we start to find out that it wasn't a nice adoption. It was actually, he stole Daniel from his community, and that there's all these secrets that Hatake's never told him, even though Daniel thought that he knew everything about his father.
He has this kind of quiet strength and dignity, and yet there's vulnerability underneath it. That character really takes its time to get rolling as you start to see the rift developing between him and Hatake, and I think Migwan was a find.
I have faith that someday you will understand.
Understand what? You stole me from my parents, from my family. I can't ever get that back.
There is no decision to make.
Daniel, please, don't do anything foolish.
I love you, Father. I always will. And I forgive you.
Daniel!
I feel like on a lot of shows, there's a part of me that always asks, why doesn't the character just leave? He really hates his family. Why doesn't he get in a car and drive to St. Louis? You really hate your job. Why don't you quit? And it's how to create an environment that feels organic to the story that doesn't allow any of that.
The fact that it was in the Arctic and so isolated also meant that, in practical terms, they couldn't just turn to someone for help. Help is very far away and very difficult to get to them, even before they lose communication with the outside world. So what that does is it puts your characters in a tight little box. It's a crucible, really, where you can really illuminate character and watch these people under pressure and see what happens in this isolated environment when they really have nowhere to turn to but each other.
You have to come with me.
No, I want to wait for Alan.
If you do, you die. You have to trust me.
It really gave us the opportunity almost to make it like a Western because we were on the frontier. You can't just call in the army, you can't call the police. As a result, you're left to your own devices, which is terrific for us. I mean, it allows you to put people in scenarios they would not normally be in if you could just call in for backup.
We know that whatever experiment has been going on here is illegal. We don't know through the entire series what the government's role is in this. Belisaros is presumably working for the government. And yet, if the government knows about it, in what sense is it not obeying the government's rules? So there's a contradiction at the core here that makes for a mystery that we have to figure out. I think that the Arctic is a spectacular setting because it obviously means that the Outlaw Lab has something to hide. I find just the starkness of the white kind of horrifying just in its own right. And obviously, you're stuck inside because you'll freeze to death if you go outside. So that raises the stakes enormously.
That up on top, it's this beautiful, sleek, and very high-tech base. And then as you go lower, it's a little more rough and industrial, and there's pipes on the ceiling and that sort of thing. And then as you go even lower still, you find all sorts of secrets. You get down to level X, and you get down to a part of the base that was not even the base. It was something that was built under, it was there before, years and, decades before even. Most of our sleek sets were on stage. Our level R and lab areas, a lot of them were in a building in Montreal that was an abandoned lab. And then for the level X stuff that was supposed to look really old, we went to a fort, an old historical site, and shot there and got that sense of the really ancient.
The idea that this facility kept expanding down, and each time you thought, could this get any scarier? It kind of does. I love that. Plus, the idea of being underground in itself to me is scary. I think it's like being in a casket. I think it sort of forebodes the doom that they're really facing.
Es ist mir egal, wie viele Flüge es dauert. Ich brauche diese Sendung in der nächsten Woche. Das ist nicht mein Problem. Tun Sie es. Dr. Walker, what a pleasant surprise.
Sorry to bother you, but I need a favor.
No bother. Would you care for some tea?
No, thank you.
Would you like some water?
No, thanks. I see that you have surveillance cameras in Peter's lab.
For safety purposes, all animal holding areas are equipped with cameras.
You keep recordings?
I've been through the tapes myself. Over 300 hours. There's nothing out of the ordinary.
I'd like to look for myself. No offense.
Come this way. Silence until we arrive. I'm sure some of the people down here blame me for their misfortune.
They'd be wrong.
Even you questioned me today.
I'm sorry. Father.
What do you want, Peter? Why are you here? Why are you here? I want to help you. No. Please. This will all be over soon. Sooner than you think.
And action. Thank you. Here, pinch off. Come inside. No. Hold on.
Stick your finger in here.
Stick your finger in. That's hardly any better.
What's in the virus?
Nothing.
I saw it with my own eyes. What did you splice into its genetic...
I don't know what you mean.
Sorry. I will find it.
Nice to see you've made your health. Sorry.